Hello, everybody. Hello. This is Chris Barron for today's live stream for the 14th of October 2020. How are you guys? I just woke up from my power nap, 30-minute power nap. If you've been following along, you know what that is. Basically, it's the best way to recharge your batteries. Just sit down, close your eyes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes at the most with your alarm set up, and that's that. So a bit drowsy, not exactly the refresher that I wanted, but it is what it is. I'm gonna stick to it. I promise myself that I'll do my best to do a power nap just about every single day of the week. So we'll see how that goes. So that's the first order of business. The second thing, let's share my screen. We have loads to talk about. And mostly we're gonna talk about design stuff, web design. The most important thing being, first and foremost, I've listened to a couple of new audiobooks about the Japanese way of working and the principle of Kaizen. Kaizen, whatever. And basically, this is a very complicated thing. Both books had about 20 hours or so. I think one was a bit shorter. But in any case, the principle is extremely simple. Basically, in a nutshell, it's the fact that the guys at Toyota, the guys that make cars, with 500 people, they do the job of 1,000 people, and they do it with smiles on their face, right? Furthermore, their turnover is the employee turnover is far lower. That means that people are happy there; they're not leaving, then they're not hiring new people to replace people that are leaving the company. So that's fantastic. And obviously, this was really interesting how to be more efficient, more effective. And again, the book is incredibly dense and it has loads of information. But in essence, I'll give you this the 30-second bit. It's the following: just improve something, 5 seconds at a time. So if you do something, try and improve it every day by 5 seconds. And that's basically it. That's the gist of it. That's the absolute essence of it. So try and shave off 5 seconds. When you do something, when you create a header, when you create a footer, when you do whatever you plan on doing in terms of web design or just graphic design in general, try and shave off 5 seconds. So that means if you're constantly, getting up and drinking water, have your water bottle right next to you. If you get constant phone calls, keep your phone right next to you. If you feel that whatever, close the blinds, whatever, do whatever you can do in order to shave off those 5 seconds. And that's, again, something that seems so incredibly basic, but again, the book says that it's absolutely phenomenal. Obviously, the principles are a bit more complicated and there's a lot more to it about keeping everything clean, keeping everything organized, and so on. But that's the basic principle. Don't try and improve something dramatically, right? So you're going to see various designs here. And some of these designs are going to suck, basically. They're not going to be all that great. They're going to be so and so, right? And obviously, you would want to jump from a 5 to a 10 immediately, right? But unfortunately, that's not how it goes. If things were so simple, everybody would do it, right? So basically, this Kaizen principle just says, hey, improve 2% by 3% by 5%. And basically, the whole is going to be whatever, 30% or 40% or 20% or whatever it may be, right? But if I ask you to improve a design, just, in 30 by 30% right now, you probably don't know how to do that. So in terms of web design, what we can do is we can improve the shade of our green, for example, right? Instead of using this type of green, we can use this type of green, right? Instead of using this specific typeface, we can use a better one. And that's how you basically build up to a better design, bit by bit by bit by bit. Now, let's focus on these designs and we'll see what's what. Because again, I'm no way on... I haven't mastered Kaizen by any stretch of the imagination. I still have loads to learn. But I did find it fascinating that we can apply this principle from Toyota and the Japanese culture in general to actually bring out the best in our designs. So let's take it step by step. We have a few designs right here that I would like to review. This is the first time I'm seeing them, so I don't have anything prepared. So let's take it one at a time and see what's what. First, the width, 1440, okay. The actual active area is 1200. That's pretty good. Cinema brings people together. Okay, we bring people together. So okay, this is the first problem right here. Unfortunately, your city theaters find movies. Okay, and then we have. Okay, so yeah, basically, this is one of the the biggest issues that I see beginners do, and it's quite unfortunate because it's one thing to have a mediocre design, it's another thing to not understand what's the purpose of it, right? And I think this is a great example to begin with. So all this empty space right here and right here, this just goes to show that this specific designer doesn't understand the purpose of this specific website. Because here's the thing, if you're really dead set on creating something that you are going to use as a person, you probably know that this whole lot of excess space, wow, that's difficult to say, doesn't do anybody any good. So this doesn't make the design any better. It doesn't provide any type of breathing room. It's not there to help us, to not to prevent basically any accidental clicks. So why this exists beats me. This doesn't make any sense. Moving on down, here's another issue that shows a lack of understanding. Now here we can only see basically three movies, right? We have two more on either side, but I don't think we can consider those actual posters. So basically, if we zoom out and we check this entire part, we have what, 12, whatever, 2400 pixels or so, where we only see three movies. So this again doesn't make any sense whatsoever, because the grid is the most important part. Whether it's this type of presentation website or an e-commerce website or whatever, you have to show the user what he wants. The user wants to book a movie. If he wants to book a movie, you have to show your entire catalog, your selection of movies. If you're forcing him to see them three at a time, at any given point, at least here in Romania, we get to see about, at the minimum, 15 movies, at the very minimum, right? So if you can imagine that I'm gonna spend 5 clicks to just go through a list, and then if I want to review some of them at the beginning, I'm gonna go back and click a bunch more times, then you're dead wrong. That's quite unfortunate. So again, this is the number one problem. It's not the actual, the actual color use. It's not the typography. It's not anything else. It's the fact that you're forcing the user to do all sorts of clicking right here. You're gonna force him to, just spam the hell out of this button just because you couldn't come up with a better grid. Now, the actual shadow, for example, looks nice, right? The actual arrows here, they're pretty good as well. But the sheer fact that the whole point of this is to explore movies, and you're just, you're giving it drop by drop, doesn't make any sense. Moving on down, services. Now, again, this is quite unfortunate because there's little to no contrast, and I don't really feel like these icons, like they're in tune with all the rest of the design. The typeface is actually quite nice. This is quite sleek. I'm not sure what font this is, but I quite like it, and I think you should use it, because this right here, this actually stands out quite nicely. And this part, this main menu, I will give it probably maybe an 8.5 out of 10. So this is the exact same size that I would use. The weight, perfect. It's probably regular, but it stands out so nice on this black background. The two buttons, again, beautiful, but all that doesn't really matter. So because of that, quite unfortunate. Here's another thing that, again, it's so incredibly easy to fix, just give this element a bit more breathing room, right? Just a bit more. It's gonna make a whole lot of difference. And it's the same thing obviously here at the top. Just increase it and just make it breathe better. The more room that you leave in these types of cases, the better it's gonna be. And this is not something that's a personal preference. If you check any website, any mainstream website, you're gonna find that this is called padding. It's the amount of space between your element and the edge of the box, basically. Let's call it that. There's another problem here that, this is way too big. This needs to be toned down dramatically. Something probably like this. something like that. There's no need for the. I mean, look, when you compare it, it's night and day. I really think that this is just a better fit because there's no need to draw the user's attention even more when you have a red background. I mean, look, we have so much black, right? There's nothing really here that stands out more than these red rectangles, right? Because of that, because of the maximum contrast between the headline and the actual red rectangle, there's no need for the huge typeface. Let's move on. Ah, man, I think this is the definition of getting bored. I think this is the definition. This is the prime example of I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't want to research anymore. I don't want to spend the time to just have a look at whatever any mainstream website. Because listen, you're not gonna find this type of footer anywhere else. You're not gonna see this type of thing on whatever, on BBC, on CNN, on whatever, on IMDb, on Booking, on whatever. You're not gonna see such a mess. I'm not really sure what's going on here, but this is quite disappointing. Let's move on, and I think this is, let's see. Yeah, I think yeah we have a before and after. Let's have some fun here. So this is a design competition, and basically this is the winner, and let's move it here. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now, first of all, you can see that this is significantly narrower. This is actually 800 pixels. So this is the winner. Keep that in mind. This is what the student on Discord submitted. So this is my student. This is the winning design. You would think it would be the other way around, but nope. 800 pixels. Wow, 800 pixels. Let's see what this student did. 1600. Beautiful. The active area 1200. Beautiful. The header exactly what it needs to be. Let's check out the actual color. I think it's 333. Yep, beautiful. Home being in orange. This is something that I used to do a few years back, but nowadays I tend to leave home either gray 333 or make it washed out, because if this is orange, what are you gonna do for the hover state, right? So that brings a very basic problem that you're not gonna be able to fix, because making the hover state whatever green doesn't make any sense. Making it red doesn't make sense. Making it blue, the same thing. So this is quite unfortunate. This should be grayed out. This should be, and the hover state should be colored. Now again, this is the type of thing, this is the 2% where if you improve it and you make this change throughout your entire designs, this is gonna really help you out, right? Just a very small little thing, but again, it's gonna add up bit by bit. On the other hand, we don't even have a main menu here, because you know what? Do we really need a main menu? I have no idea how much this designer actually received for this contest, but this is a joke. This header here is a joke, and it's a joke basically because, and it's the theme goes on and on, because as you can see, this is the hero area, and it's just it's just the logo. It's the logo on a background, and that's that. If you want to make fun of a web designer, this is the type of thing that you can imagine him doing, right? Just, choosing lovely photos and, some colors, and that's that. This is not actual web design, what you can see here on the right side. This is a joke, and again, I have no idea why someone would select this person as the winner, because this, going from top to bottom, this looks like a flyer. And the flyer, this is a brochure. This is something that, again, beginners have a lot in common. Basically, they create flyers, and the main difference between a flyer and a website is the call to action. When you're given a flyer on the street, you're given the flyer, and you're gonna read it, and you're gonna find information about that company, right? Maybe it's gonna be a coupon, maybe it's gonna be about their address, maybe it's about a sale or whatever. But there's nothing in particular that you have to do right now, right? You see a pizza flyer, whatever, 20% off on margarita pizza or whatever. There's nothing in particular that you have to do right now, that you can do right now, right? So then If there's no action to be taken, because again, the flyer, you probably received it, whatever, not exactly next to the store or whatever. If you don't have any action, then the entire purpose of the flyer becomes one of just it becomes informative, right? Just information about the company. That's that. And this is exactly what you see here. Information about the company. The services it provides, just turbocharge your business. There's nothing here for the user. There's nothing here that you can do. Assuming you're the type of person that wants to purchase whatever these guys are selling. By the way, what are these guys selling? Constant innovation around our IT services. Do what? Which is to help you simplify, save money. So again, managed IT services, security and storage and management. What are these guys selling? So even as a flyer, this doesn't make any sense, right? It's, man, okay. Let's see what our friend did. Our services, managed IT, security, okay, this is pretty good. Unfortunately, this is distorted. I think most of you guys can see that this was not constrained, so the aspect ratio was not kept in line. The actual shadow is quite nice. I appreciate that. And listen, it's one of the most difficult things to do, to have a pure white background and have decent looking cards. So this is something we should not skip over. So in general, this is one of the things that has haunted me, for years and years when it comes to web design, because we love that clean white background look, but we also love grays, right? Now, ideally, you would use this gray as the background and keep the cards white. That's the very basic way of doing it. But when you have everything white, and you can see here that the white, I think, goes on and on, it just makes the whole website a bit cleaner. It gives off a more positive vibe. I'm not sure what it is, but pure white backgrounds are great. Unfortunately, again, they raise that question. If you want to use a card, the card, choosing that gray, that gray is so incredibly difficult. Choosing that shadow is again so difficult because you want to make sure that it's subtle, but you want to make sure that it's noticeable. So I'm really happy that this student really managed to nail it. I'm not really happy about the corner radius. I think you could have gone for the 5 pixel corner radius. But yeah, overall, I'm very, very happy with what you managed to achieve here. And I'm really happy about the hierarchy. So the title, the size of the title, the weight of the title, the color of the title. This part right here, again, beautifully done, excellent. The line height is a bit much, right? And I would have preferred for you to actually keep this on either 2 or 3 lines. You can see we have 3 lines here, and this is beautiful. We have 3 lines here, but with one single word, this doesn't look all that great, right? I would do something to actually make it on 2 lines here, I think. Or I would just come up with something else to have 3 lines across the board. But overall, again, this is very well executed. Unfortunately, again, you just kept this part right here. I like the integration of the logo here. I'm not really sure though if this is centered. Let's see. No, this is no longer centered, so that's quite a shame. This should have been grouped, and after you group it, then you center it on the canvas. I'm not really sure what you did here, but yeah, it's not centered from what I can see. Overall, again, congrats on this. This part right here, again, works pretty well. Looks great. I quite appreciate this part right here. The photo is fairly well chosen. It's probably from Unsplash, but I think, being orange, I think it's a nice fit. I think you actually colored it yourself, which is very nice. So props for that. That really shows attention to detail. Unfortunately, I think there is a slight deviation in color. No, it's not. It seemed like it was a different one, but it seems it's the same one. Pretty good. Again, the title, very nice. The line here, great. Again, man, if you would have removed this part, it would have been a bit better, I think. Just a half a point better, maybe 0.25. I don't think you need this part here. But I do have to say that, guys, if you want great body text, this is exactly what you're looking for. I mean, this is very crisp. The length is, again, perfect. It's what, 660, 650 actually. This is exactly what you need to do. So I'm very happy with it. Again, nice stuff. Unfortunately, this is where things break down. This part right here doesn't work for me. I understand that you mirrored it here, and I think you actually have the same size. Yep, the same height. So this is again very beautifully done. I commend you for your attention to detail, but this part right here just doesn't work for me. And this orange again, you made basically a color overlay orange on top of something that used to be black. It just doesn't work. The amount of contrast that just doesn't work here, and it's not a good fit. It's not a good look. I'm not really sure if bringing it closer together would have been better. But yeah, it doesn't work here. I'm not sure if. Possibly. I'm not sure. We have this space here. Overall, I think this would have been a better look, a better fit. So without any space, let's actually continue. Again, the orange is not a good look. And neither. Again, the problem is your orange to begin with isn't fantastic, isn't all that saturated, right? It's not a great look. I think it could have been a bit brighter, maybe something like this, maybe more towards red or something like that. Okay, so something like this, more bright, more vivid. Unfortunately, when you use color overlay and you tone it down to about 50% or so, it just doesn't look right. It just doesn't look nice. It becomes something of a brown shade, and brown in general, you should stay away from it. The amount of contrast isn't great, so yeah, this part right here, I'm not in love with it. And I'm not in love with it, especially because you use the 5 pixel corner radius here. We have squares here, another square here, another rectangle here, okay, and then you change shapes, right? You change shapes. It's, again, something, it's a minute detail, but I think it really adds up. I don't think you should have changed shapes. I think you should have used the standard grid. Obviously, you would risk being too boring, but I think this is a bit too disruptive. And regarding the footer, no background image, please, guys. If you wanna improve your footers, please don't use any background images. It's not a good look. Let's move on. Overall, again, I think the designer who made this, I think you're on the right track. I think you have great potential, so I'm really happy for you. Okay, let's move on. I think we actually saw this before. I think I already reviewed this, so I think I'm just gonna skip it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I saw this before, maybe in the previous live stream. I'm not sure. So yeah, let's move on. Ooh, man, this gray is really unfortunate. I'm not really sure why this is gray and it's not white. There's no reason for it to be gray. Again, the same mistake as before. Home is green. Again, home is, you're already on the home page, so it should be inactive. You shouldn't be able to click it, right? Well, you should be able to click it, but you have to transmit towards the user that you're already there. Green should be the hover state. Over the 100 years, man, this is a very poor headline. The copy is a big disappointment. Okay. Seed feed, lawn and garden, hardware store. No idea what this is. C store. Again, this doesn't make any sense. Now, I'm gonna bore you guys for the 100,000th time with my shop. So, if this is a shop, here's stuff that you can buy. You wanna buy it? Click on add to cart. It's that easy. Here's the price, here's the quantity, here's the reviews, right? This makes sense for you as a user. You have something to purchase. Here, see store. Why would you not show the store immediately? Why would you not show a product immediately, right? And then we continue on down. Maybe, again, you want to set up, maybe you want a presentation or something. Okay, that's fine. But then you continue the presentation and I still can't buy anything. So this shows a lack of understanding, exactly like it was with the first design. This shows a lack of understanding regarding what's supposed to happen here. Again, all these products. So what should happen here? I'm gonna click on read more and then finally I'm gonna see some products. That's not how it works. You should show some products no matter what it is. Okay, finally, here are some products. But look how much we've scrolled, right? Now, again, if you know about bounce rate, if you've ever had a website, you know that this is not acceptable. You need to show an action higher up, preferably immediately in the hero area. So this is not cool. And as you can see, we have the same issue as with the first design. There's no padding whatsoever. There's no empty space here. So because of that, it's not cool. More than that, look at something else here in terms of hierarchy. What's the biggest thing right here? It's the price, but you shouldn't actually click the price. What you should actually click is the title, most likely, or the photo. Now, if you want to show the client that you can click the photo, include the hover state. Again, let's look at my website. As you can see, this is orange. This stands out because that's what I want you to click. If you go over it, again, the whole thing becomes orange, and I show you, you can see the cursor changes because I want to show you that you can actually click it. Right here, we can only assume that you can actually click here and you're going to be taken to the product. So again, this shows a lack of understanding, and this is talked about in depth in Master Web Design in Photoshop. If you take a look at that course, I promise you, you won't make these mistakes. It's very well explained there, and I really urge you to see Master Web Design in Photoshop. It's on sale on Udemy, so there's no reason whatsoever to not buy it. View more offers, again, very difficult to understand what's gonna happen here. Are they gonna load up here underneath, or are they gonna load up in a different page? So that might not sound like a big deal, but it actually is a huge deal, because when you go to your developer with this website, he's not gonna know what he's supposed to do, and obviously that's gonna change the way he's gonna price the work. Quite disappointing. And again, this is pretty good. This isn't all that bad. I think this is one of the better footers that you can do, even though it's a bit dated. I still like the fact that it's fairly well organized. The icons are pretty good as well. This part right here seems pretty good as well. But yeah, overall, again, you've missed the mark. You don't understand why you're designing. You're just designing for the hell of it, to be creative with whatever. But you're not actually helping the business. If you want to help the business, you have to make dramatic improvements and make the user's journey as short as possible. Help him purchase whatever he's looking for. Now, just one more thing, because most of the time what designers do is they include huge search boxes, right? Now, for example, in my specific case, I only have about 30 products or so, and they're organized into tabs. So I decided to not have any, to not use a search box, right? Now in this specific website, garden, feed, seed, gift department, I think it's very clear that we're dealing with loads of products. If you're dealing with loads of products, you need a prominent search box. You need probably in the hero area something that says, okay, what are you looking for? And in the hint, you should say something like whatever, corn seeds or whatever the hell this sells, right? So this is what you need to design to actually show the client that you're on his side. And this is how you earn from $200, $2,000 or whatever it may be. That's how you increase your price tenfold. Okay, let's continue. We have one more, I think. Okay, here you go. Smart training. So this is basically a redesign of one of my websites, I think. Oh no, smart training. Okay, if this is not a typo, this is very, oh yeah, blog. Okay, so I think the designer who created this this entry actually submitted another entry. I'm not sure why he did not pay attention to the previous live streams, because it's blog. I'm not sure why you would have this issue, because blog is such an easy thing. And then again, smart training, I'm pretty sure of it. Learn anything, anywhere. Okay, this is pretty good. Okay, nice and light, bright, happy. The search box is pretty good. This is a bit washed out, but it's fine. The illustration is obviously beautiful, and I think it's a great choice, considering this is probably something like Udemy. It's a learning platform. These are very nice as well. Okay, money back, unlimited. Okay, all resources, instant. Okay. So overall, I think this is pretty good, actually. This should be pretty good. I would suggest something here. I would suggest replacing the hint with something like whatever. Search for the Photoshop course. Search for Excel or whatever. For my research, it basically search boxes are more used if you provide a meaningful hint, right? Because I don't know what I should write here. Do they provide yoga classes? Do they provide only IT classes? Do they, I may have loads of questions as a visitor, but if you include some examples, a meaningful hint, that's gonna help me. The design is beautiful, no doubt about it. Even this small little thing. So if you want to steal some ideas, this is another thing that you can steal. This is pretty good. The same thing regarding the shadow here. I think that's something you can steal as well. This is actually something that I do in my designs as well. So again, this is something that you can steal for yourself. The corner radius, though, I still would opt for the 5 pixels. Even though this has more, I would still go for the 5 pixels, and I would probably use some type of drop shadow or something to make it stand out a bit more. Same thing here. The use of your drop shadow isn't good enough. Again, looking at my website, you can see that the orange shadow has a bigger glow, basically. A bigger glow. Yeah, that's the best way to describe it, right? Whereas here, this is, really, really tiny. So I would increase the size of the shadow. This grid is absolutely beautiful. I think I've seen this before, but yeah, this is beautiful. The way the price stands out, the title, on two lines, this is great. I would increase the line height though just a bit. I think this is a bit crowded. The rating is fine as well. I'm not sure about the gray. I understand why you chose a different gray for this part right here, but here I'm not sure. But yeah, overall this is pretty nice. Now, again, it's the same thing as before. Probably this website is gonna feature what, 10,000 videos? Okay, and you're only showing 3. Now you are showing 3 in a very beautiful manner. I'll give you that. Sure, it's nice and lovely, but it's not enough, right? It's not enough. So that's something where probably you would be able to win a design competition with this type of design, but it's not very functional, right? And these are probably categories. I don't think this is actually a real project. I think you did this just for the hell of it, for practicing purposes, and that's totally fine. But yeah, this would not float. Again, it's beautifully done in terms of execution, in trying to get better, in trying to practice your hierarchy, in practicing your shadows. Beautifully done, sure, but it's not gonna be something that will actually be implemented in a real live working website. But again, on 99 designs, you're definitely gonna win a design competition. For an actual client, for the client that's gonna pay you $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, this is not gonna work. If you're confused about that, again, it's basically the difference between my freelancing course and Mastered Web Design in Photoshop. It's one thing to win design competitions, it's another thing to actually create beautiful designs. Okay, this is pretty good as well. Again, the typo, I'm not really sure if the keyboard is set in another language or what. And basically the same grid here. Again, beautiful photos that, these are bound to impress any client, but they're not actually functional. So a bit difficult. Wow, beautiful stuff right here. Pretty nice, modern. This really stands out. The same with, yeah, I mean, look, this is probably what you wanted to do here. Bring a photo in that's gonna spice things up. Sure, that makes sense. But this is how you do it, right? This is a graphic that, first of all, you can easily steal without any problems, right? Because it's not something that can be easily recognized. It's just, a geometric pattern, so this is totally okay. It's well integrated. It goes well with the blue. It doesn't impede legibility. Otherwise said, you can still read everything here. I love it. I love the fact that it's curved. I think this is beautiful. The same problem here with bog instead of blog. Yeah, I'm really happy with this photo. I think this is a great example of how a photo should be constructed. I'm not happy with this gray here. I think this is a mistake. This should be pure white. I'm not really sure why you chose to to change the color, but it's not a good fit. And one thing, I think you probably copy pasted the shadow. So here it works pretty well. It's exactly on edge, right? It's a bit too powerful for my taste, but it's debatable, right? The amount of drop shadow, the opacity of the drop shadow, right? So this is exactly on edge. It could work. You could keep it as is, but it's debatable. Whereas here, it's way too powerful, right? For whatever reason, this doesn't work for me. Maybe it's because of this orange or purple, but it just doesn't go right here. So I would lower the amount of drop shadow, the opacity, and I think that's gonna look better. One more thing. This is a portfolio submitted by, again, a designer on Discord, and he's already accepted. He's a mid-level designer, so he's already doing a pretty good job here. Let's see where he's at. No main menu, which is really strange. No pricing, which is again really strange. Yeah, this doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It's pretty well done, but again, it's exactly what I said before. It's a great design, but for 99 designs, not for the real world. There's 0% chance that this is actually going to be implemented in a real working website. Let's see this one. Okay, this is much better. Sell your card. The call to action is beautiful. I love it. Get your offer, again, pretty good. I would appreciate the same text, but yeah, overall, this looks lovely. Obviously, this is taken from free pick or whatever, but yeah, it's well integrated. The view is so high up. From my research, it's not a great fit to put the view so high up. I don't think it's a great idea. Again, this looks beautiful, but there's no call to action. You should repeat the call to action. How it works, this is very well done. Props, congratulations, you did a very well job, a very good job. Yep, I love it. You know, again, this is something that you can easily steal. I'm not really sure why this is not centered. You can see this is centered, this is offset, this is offset. I'm not really sure why that's the case. Okay. I'm not in love with this part right here. This is not gonna scale well on mobile phones. I don't think it's a good way to actually show the number of services. But again, clients are gonna love you. Again, it's the same thing over and over. If you want your clients to, if you want to win design competitions, this is what you have to do. Yeah, this part right here, again, beautiful. This is well done. I can see why you're a mid-level designer. Okay, sell my, okay, pretty good. This is very, very time intensive stuff. I mean, finding these logos, I think it's really difficult. You can see the Ford logo has a bit of a problem. The same thing for Audi. So a bit difficult, okay. And call, okay, pretty good stuff. This is a good portfolio. Again, I think I understand why you're a mid-level designer. Again, I see that you do all these little tricks, and I call them tricks not in a negative way, to actually win design competitions. Because again, this swoopy line and this blue part right here, this circle right here, clients love these things. Again, this website is likely not gonna perform well, it's not gonna sell well, but it does look nice. And if that's your goal, to win design competitions, beautiful. Just one more and that's gonna be that. Oh, this is just a mini website. A mini website, but it's actually fairly well done. Yep, I think this is nice. Yeah. Okay, the icons are beautiful. The typography could be improved. The main menu should not be centered. It should be placed on this side right here. It doesn't actually help it. It doesn't help at all. Now, considering that each menu item is about the same width, I think you could say that it works fairly well, but I still prefer the main menu to be right aligned. The icons, again, fairly basic, but yeah, this overall look, I'm pretty sure you got inspired from some place, and there's no shame in that, and there's no problem in that. I don't think this is an original layout, but yeah, it works so well. The call to action is immediate, it's simple, you don't have to scroll. So this would be a website that actually performs well. Yeah, great stuff. Okay, guys, 40 minutes. I think this is enough. I think this has been going I think this has gone long enough. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, there's a design competition, and you can participate just by following the rules. $20, just have some fun, create some designs, submit them to this email, and then maybe you're gonna win $20. Maybe you're gonna improve. Maybe you're gonna have some fun. That's it. This is Chris Barron signing out. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you on Sunday when I'll announce the winner. Thank you. Have a good one. Bye.